Okay, it is 11:11, and today is Saturday, March 21st, in the year 2026. So that's 3211111. 5 ones, a 2, a 3, some good numbers. And hello to everyone. We are live. This is Blessings from the Dragon. We do this every Saturday. And
questions for the dragon, I think, today.
Oh,
yes.
Today is questions for the dragon. Oh, well, I have...
Well, we could do blessings.
Well, yeah, you're right. Today is questions for the dragon, and I have set up the wrong scene. So we're going to just roll with this because there's a couple things we want to share. I don't want to have to set them up again. So we are live, and I am Stephen, the channeler.
And this is Stephanie.
And we are having fun with these live streams and the community, and welcome to everyone. A couple quick little housekeeping things. Tomorrow is Golden Code number 2, which is, the first one was I am worthy, and the second one tomorrow is I am safe. And Jadon Se says this is so needed right now for many light workers to enter into the golden age. So many connected lifetimes of service, and the service has resulted in banishings and martyrdom and public executions and public shaming and ridicule and being sent into live in the woods in a hut to be the local village healer and all this. And so many light workers are playing small and have been for quite some time, because it just hasn't been safe in the old vibration to speak truth to power and to really shine your light and share your wisdom. And so many light workers need to unburden themselves from these traumas and these wounds, and playing small and putting themselves last and all of this sort of stuff. So Jadon Se is very pleased to be bringing through the golden codes to help those who need a little extra help with each of these issues. So each of the golden codes will unlock and unburden you from these shackles. Anyway, tomorrow is I am safe. That we're in a vibration of safety, that you are supported and protected and all of that. And there are activations that go along with that as well, calling in extra protections and dragon armor and all that good stuff. So anyway, we look forward to any of you who wish to join us tomorrow for the Golden Code. I am safe. And okay, what else do we have for announcements? The next announcement is that the Golden Dragon Oracle deck, the physical deck, is still available. We still have some, so if you want to get yours while supplies last, they're on jadonse.com. And if you just go down to our little store section, you'll see the Oracle deck. There's also a menu item up above that should be pretty easy to get to. What else? We have the Telegram chat for this beautiful community to have access to each other, to share your ideas, your stories, your understandings, your wisdom, working with dragon energies and all that. It is an online, ongoing chat that was set up by our very own Aaron Darvish. Thank you very much for not only setting that up, but doing the hard work that it takes to keep that all going. So thank you, Aaron. You can find the link in the description below. Perhaps if we get a chance, we will post it in the chat. It's kind of like running the cockpit of an aircraft when you're live streaming. There's so many things to do. So, okay, so next we have a sharing. And last night we went out to the mailbox, and a wonderful package came in the mail, and it's from Donna Russo, who's one of our Dragon Tribe members. She's very active on the classes and all that, and she sent us a wonderful little gift in the mail, and it was a children's story, a beautifully illustrated children's story called Hiccup Saves the Day. And here it is. So we scanned the cover of it, and Donna sent a wonderful little letter that basically let us know that Jadon Se inspired her to write this children's story called Hiccup Saves the Day, and that she woke up with a dragon voice still in her head, like dictating the story to her. And so, beautiful energies. This is a really great sharing for working with dragon energies, opening up to your dragons and letting them bring messages through to assist with this golden age and to help humanity. So here we are. There's a new children's book out by our very own Donna Russo. Everyone, look it up. Go find it. We didn't see a link to send that to you, but we'll make sure that you get that in the future. It was all we could do to scan this and put it up on the screen before we went live. So here we are. And so anyway, everyone is encouraged to get a copy of this or share it with children or what have you. So thank you very much, Donna, for sharing that. And this very much goes in part and parcel with Jadon Se's love of stories. Jadon Se is always saying dragons' true hoard is stories, not gold or gems or coins or any of that, but their true hoard is the stories. So you can see this dragon lovingly reading this beautiful Hiccup Saves the Day. Okay, very good. So that is our sharing for the morning. Sorry we put up the wrong shingle here. It's actually questions for the dragon. We might actually be able to fix this really quick if we just take a look really quickly here. Questions for the dragon. I think we might be able to. Yeah, there we go. We'll just put that on instead, since that's really the one that we're supposed to be watching right now. So it's a little missized, but you know, these things happen with technology. So here we are going live with this. Okay. I'm not going to try to resize it right now. Anyway, very good. So we're going to go ahead and move into Jadon Se's reading. He's pulled a card for those who are gathered here, and we will go ahead and furnish that card for you as soon as I am actually going to just drives me crazy to have that the wrong size. Graphic designers are perfectionists. They just can't do it when it's not right. Okay, very good. So let us go ahead and we'll go into channel, and Jadon Se will give us a reading. I am Jadon Se, Golden Dragon of the Third Arc of Consciousness, and this is a gathering of, yes, dear, questions for the dragon. Dear ones, you are all very important to this community. Not only those of you who are creating wonderfully illustrated children's books, all of you, dear ones, those of you who share, those of you who speak to others of dragons and your dragon experiences, or simply just hold that energy as you move throughout the world, those of you who are working the grid lines, the dragon lines of this world, dear ones, each and every one of you is very important to this. And so we have pulled a card for you. Let us say, we are going to bring it up on the screen. Your card for today is Share Your Light, dear ones. Share your light. It is so important. And at this time, this equinox, it is doubly important. Many of you have heard this message from the dragon on the equinox, your yesterday in your way of reckoning, of, let us say, the finish line of a marathon several lifetimes long. Your Stephen has to sneeze. And because of this finish line, dear ones, this energetic finish line of your vernal in the northern hemisphere equinox, let us just say that several lifetimes, many lifetimes for most of you, of running this. It is like one of these relay races where each person hands the baton to the next person. Dear ones, it is you coming back over and over, handing the baton to yourself to move the needle back towards the light. And it is because of this work that you have done that this golden age is even possible. And now, dear ones, you have crossed this energetic finish line. There is no more running. There is no more endurance needed. There is no more suffering. Let us just say that your only duty now, dear ones, is to share your light. And so this is a perfect card. Yes, dear ones, you can share your light by any means necessary, any way that is natural to you. Again, either writing children's stories or speaking of dragons or sharing beautiful locations with friends, visiting your dragon energy spots. All of this, dear ones. Share your light. The world needs what you have to give right now, dear ones. Dragons are depicted with wings because we are here to uplift, and that includes you, dear ones. How do you uplift? Share your light. Let your special gifts, positivity, and support be seen by those around you, dear ones. You carry more light than you know. Feel this. Listen to this. Take it in, dear ones. Even those of you who may be feeling, oh, I am just an average person, or I have all these darknesses that I struggle with, or I have old traumas or wounds or self-love issues. Dear ones, you have no idea how much light is coming out of you at every moment, and that it is a gift, dear ones, to this your Gaia, to the story of your Gaia here, to the halls of eternity. The time of hiding your gifts and abilities is long past, dear ones. It is now safe and very much needed for you to drop any sense of shyness and reveal your true self to those who need it most. It takes courage, dear ones, to show the trueness of who you are. Your Stephen knows that some of his own even children think he is a little nutty at times, speaking with dragon voices and things like this. It takes courage to just allow this truth of you to come through, dear ones. Stop playing small and let your light truly shine, dear ones. This is your reading for today. We will give you an extended version of this reading. Let us just say that there is a divine purpose at work in your story, in your life, your higher, greater beingness, orchestrating synchronicities and so-called coincidences, all of this happening for a divine purpose, dear ones. Trust in this. Even the unpleasant occurrences that happen in your story, in your life, often, we will even venture to say always, have a hidden gift in them. Let us just say that this experience has divine meaning, dear ones. Let us say that healing will come when it is needed. Know that you are on the path of growth, dear ones. So, now that you have finished the heavy lifting of ushering in this golden age, running this long, many lifetimes long marathon of moving the needle towards the light, speaking truth to power, sharing your light and wisdom. It is just for you, dear ones, to trust now. Share your light in whatever way is comfortable and easy for you. And this time is for you, dear ones. Start building your dreams, because as you live your dreams, others around you see that it is possible. In this way, it is not selfish to live your dreams. You are being an example of how to bring heaven on earth, dear ones, a golden age. Just do this. It is a time for you and your story, dear ones. This is not selfish again. This is how you are serving in this time. dear ones, any, let us say, lingering hangovers from the old age of darkness and density, let us just say all of these lingering darknesses that are still just needing to be swept up and cleaned up or dispelled in some way, each of them still carries a blessing in disguise of some kind, some sort of gift. So anything that you encounter that feels like negativity, it could be, let us say, anything that has brought you down for a moment, let us just thank it. Get into the habit of having gratitude for even negativity. For each one of these, if you have gratitude consciousness, only then can it reveal its gifts to you. There are parting gifts, and sometimes it seems like parting blows or a kick in the pants, so to speak, as the cabal leaves this world. Let us say the dark beings are escorted off planet. Sometimes it feels like a parting blow. No, dear ones, each of these so-called negative experiences or darknesses has a gift. It is like having a gift that is wrapped in charcoal-colored paper or something. It does not seem like gift wrapping. However, once you finally get through this dark outer coating, you will find something shining inside, some sort of understanding that will come to you, let us say, a blessing in disguise of some sort. And the rest of what seems negative, whether it is old fears and anxieties or body shames or let us say preferences that you wish something were a little better, or some sort of a person that you know may be suffering. And let us just say that all of these different old accretions from the old age, dear ones, these little negative habits or little reflections of negativity, it is time to let these go, dear ones. Let them go. Thank them, dear ones. Thank you for all of the learning and the wisdom that has come from these negative experiences. Thank you for helping me to understand that I am not just my body in this place. Thank you for helping me to understand that the suffering that happens is all part of the contrast of the story that I am here to fulfill and to play out, dear ones. Thank you for helping me through all these dark times, delivering us into this dawn of this golden age. Thank you, dear ones, for getting us through the darkness of the night. Thank you, dear ones. Thank you, my guides, my spirits, my angels, my dragons, my higher beingness, dear ones. And just once you have given gratitude, it is safe now to let go of these old looping traumas, these old habits of darkness, or seeing darkness, looking for and expecting the worst, or something like this, expecting some sort of shenanigans around the corner, or something like this. Let it go. This time, the time for all of that is passing, and soon, dear ones, it will be hard to even find any darkness around you. There will be so much golden light streaming in. Anticipate this. Be one of the early adopters of this golden age. Know that this is what is before you. The tide has turned. There is no going back to the dark times. It is a golden age that is coming, flooding in, dear ones, flooding in with golden light. So let go of those old darknesses. This is your extended reading. Shine your light. Share this light of yours, dear ones. Trust in the divine purpose, and look for any gifts in any darkness that is still lingering, and then let them go, dear ones. This is your energetic reading, and because this is a session of questions for the dragon, we will bring up any questions that you have, dear ones. Let us just remind you that these should be of a of interest to those gathered, questions that can be decoded, understood, not obscure questions that are only understandable to your personal experience. So we are doing, let us say that each of your questions is a form of wisdom that is sharing, and it is a way of helping those who are gathered here to understand with greater clarity, working with dragon energies, working with your own divine nature, your own gifts and abilities, dear ones. So let these questions be of interest to those gathered. And just post them in the chat in all uppercase, dear ones. And as you do so, we will call them out. Your loving Stephanie will read the questions in the chat, dear ones.
Okay, I see Home John is sharing. Bless you, Jadon Se. A dragon sneeze that came in pairs needs blessings too.
Yes, dear ones. Sometimes it takes 2 sneezes to clear the energy.
And Carmed is sharing or asking, I heard dragons are very telepathic. What is the process for you to connect with Stephen from your end? Does your physical body need to be awake to connect?
Dear one, from my end, you might say, as we have said many times, this golden cosmic dragon wears bodies like you wear your wardrobe, and so there is not what you would consider to be normal waking consciousness, sleep, and all of this. It is, let us just say that energetically, my consciousness can be transported hither and thither, and your Stephen has developed an ability to feel the consciousness floating around him like a cloud. It is what I do is I come, it is like an energetic tap on the shoulder, a little elbow nudge, you might say. There is something your Jadon Se would like to share, and your Stephen senses this as like a cloud of energy around him. It is almost like someone near and dear to him is standing right behind him with their hand on his shoulder, and so he just tunes into this, and let us just say that what happens next is it is like climbing into a vehicle together to go on a beautiful drive. There is a joy, a gladness, let us say, as each sits down in one seat or the other, and the vehicle starts to move. It is like going on a little journey like this, and just like if you took a journey with your bestie, some friend of yours, there might be silence, or there might be a joke cracked or something like this, or you might put on some music or just have a wonderful conversation. It is that sort of energetic, a feeling of familiar safety and joy of going on a drive together somewhere. So this is the feeling, the energetic of the channeling. It is, we are going on a nice little drive together. I hope this helps.
I want to share that Stephen is able to connect with many beings of love and light. We have the Ashtar Command and Jesus and Mary Magdalene and many beings that come through when a time arrives where we might ask a question, or he just feels a presence that wants to come through, and it's always just quite beautiful.
Yes, dear ones, and we remind you, if you open yourself up to this sort of channeling and opening to beingnesses, that you always stipulate, I am willing to open up to that which is for the highest, greatest good in the eyes of the highest divine for this question or this moment or something like this. Always make sure when you open a portal that it is for the greatest good in the eyes of the highest divine. This way, you won't have, let us say, trickster energies or naughty beings coming in and acting like they are enlightened when they are actually just here to trick or deceive or something like this. So it is important to do this for those of you who open up to your gifts of channeling. Let us just remind you, always for the highest, greatest good in the eyes of the highest divine. Beautiful.
Okay, I see Barno Barry Batspick, 1471, is asking, Dear Jadon Se, how can we best anchor in these light codes from our heart to Gaia? How can we help source creator codes come to Gaia?
Dear ones, you are anchoring these light codes. Your stories here, let us just say that you are a multidimensional bridge. Your beingness is multidimensional. Your appearance here in this story of Gaia is of assistance to Gaia and the divine and the realms of eternity. Your stories are entered into the records of eternity, and because of this, you, dear ones, are a bridge between the divine and Gaia herself. Her, you might call her beautiful heart, a rainbow heart. She has rainbow light codes, and all of the records of your appearances in this story of Gaia are lovingly stored in her records. Her rainbow heart has records of every lifetime, every story you have played out here, lovingly curated and gathered in her heart. And, dear ones, because of your multidimensional nature, your eternal records, your divine records, you might say, are bridging between these. So if you wish to invoke this bridge even more powerfully, there is a brief, let us say, visualization and meditation you can do. Simply take 3 deep breaths, and when you are complete with your breaths and they feel very natural and you are in a beautiful space, imagine a beautiful column of golden white light coming down from above your crown chakra, from the highest divine, down through your spinal column, your all of this, your entire energetic structure, a column of golden white light. And it not only comes down from above, it moves out through your feet, down through your earth star chakra, down below into Gaia's rainbow heart. At the core of this world, you might say, it is not just the 3D world. There are many dimensions to Gaia as well. And so it is a multi-dimensional column of light that is extending from your highest divine, your highest, greatest self, you might say, down through your entire beingness into the rainbow core of Gaia's very heart. And so once this golden white light of the divine links up with the rainbow light codes of your Gaia, you become even greater, an even greater bridge, you might say, of these sharings of light codes and consciousness and the records of your stories, dear ones. It is like establishing some sort of technological uplink or downlink, if you might think, but so much beyond that. It is so multidimensional, beyond any sort of description that I could give through Stephen's voice right now. Let us just say that there is so much flowing in this column of light that you have called in, that you become a very, very potent bridge between the divine and the rainbow light codes of your Gaia, her stories here. And when you do this, dear ones, you can expand this column of light. It at first might seem like it is just a column that is, say, 3 or 4 feet in diameter around you. You can expand it out to miles radius wide from wherever you are sitting on the surface of Gaia, or wherever you are, even if you are in a UFO somewhere in the cosmos. Let us just say you can extend this column of light as wide as you wish. It can encompass the entire earth even your entire solar system. Indeed, you have the power for it to encompass this entire Milky Way galaxy and beyond, dear ones. This is how multidimensional you are. You do not need to play small. It is just that you are doing so right now. So, dear ones, thank you for this question. If you wish to anchor these light codes from your heart to Gaia, this is a very potent and multidimensional way.
Daisy Tam is asking, Jadon Se, how can we support others going through caregiving to an ailing pet, family, friend, and the trip to separation in the physical with that being who is so loved and the unseen parting gifts?
Dear ones, it is helpful for you to remember that at the beginning of this live stream transmission that we are sharing together, we shared a beautiful children's storybook. And when you are reading to a child and you have this child on your lap and you're lovingly going through the story, and the child is seeing each page and maybe touching the book and maybe holding your hand with their other little one's hand. And dear ones, let us just say that the story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you lovingly move through it, and it is a cherished moment in your beingness. Dear ones, take this little example of reading a children's story to a beloved little one, and then compare it to the lifetime experience you have with any beloved being in your life. This could be someone you have known for years and years, decades even. It could be someone that you have had only in your life for a short period of time, perhaps a beloved house cat or beloved pet that has a shorter lifespan, so to speak. And it is very much the same process as sharing this children's story with this little one. It is, let us say, a sharing of love, a sharing of moments, a sharing of beauty, a sharing of deeper understanding, a sharing of gifts and wisdom, and yes, sometimes school of hard knocks sort of lessons and things like this. And let us look at the entire arc of your friendship or belovedship, whatever you wish to call this, with your beloved being. Look at this entire arc of your experience with them as something like this children's story, and cherish the moments, cherish the story, and even cherish the end. At the end of the story, perhaps the dragon of some story, some children's story, flies off into the cosmos and says farewell, and the child is waving goodbye and all of this. And dear ones, no story is truly over forever. Let us just say that every story resonates in the halls of eternity as new at all times. And so, therefore, any being that you have shared a story with, a time on this your Gaia, these are eternal moments accessible through your heart, through your deeper understanding and wisdom. They do not go away. They do not end. They are not over. Let us just say new chapters just come about. And so if you are, let us say, in some sort of hospice care for a beautiful, loving being that is so dear to you, just think of this as the epilogue of this beautiful story. What is this word epilogue? It is like the final chapter or chapters of this beautiful, wonderful story. And even though some stories end with a tearjerker, they are still beloved in your heart. So just let us say, give your attention to every moment of this story, as you would with this little one, holding your hands in the lap, going through this beautiful children's storybook with you. Be present for every bit of it, and know that there is a gift for you in every moment, dear ones.
Home John is sharing, I received a small turtle pendant with my oracle deck. Thank you, Stephanie. Do the three holes in the top of the turtle's shell represent the Orion belt? Is there a connection?
Dear one, this is very perceptive of you. And do you know, perhaps you are starting to awaken to, let us just say, a greater portion of your own stories amidst the stars. And yes, dear one, you have guessed right. You have come through the Orion Stargate. Yes, through from where and to where. So many humans are always trying to make a linear story out of the progression of soul, and it is not always linear. It is, what is this word? It is more like stochastic. What is a stochastic? It is like these computer printouts you have seen that are made up of all these little scattered dots, these little colored dots. If you hold a magnifying glass to this printout, you'll see it looks like a random scattering of dots. This is called a stochastic image. One little dot here, one little dot there. This is what your stories are like. Stories across the cosmos, a stochastic story of your beingness. It is not linear. It is not... You can, if you wish, you can say, and dear one, this would be true for you, Mr. Home Drawn. I come from the Andromeda galaxy and have lived so many lifetimes in Andromeda and have come through the Orion Stargate and then have lived so many lifetimes understanding the Orion story, and because of the Orion story, I ended up on the Council of Light, the Orion Council of Light, which is what your Jedi Council in Star Wars is based upon. Yes, you are a Jedi like this. Yes, dear one. And because of that, I am connected with Orion, for I had these lifetimes in Orion. And because of that, looking upon this little turtle pendant, I immediately recognize these three belt stars of Orion. Yes, the ones that the pyramids of Giza are aligned to and other megalithic structures, for they demark these grand stories of rebellion against an evil empire and all of this sort of thing, working in the shadow work, learning to make, let us say, move the needle towards the light. And because of all of these understandings gained from the Orion star system and all of the conflicts there, I am so well suited to come to this earth, this Gaia, over and over again to move the needle to the light, towards the light. This is something learned in the Orion system, this shadow work, moving the needle towards the light, sometimes a little nudge here and a little nudge there, always coming back, being persistent, never giving up. And this is the story of so many of you, dear ones. There are 7 of you who needed to hear this, for your stories ring true with this. And let us just say there is a concentration of those who have worked in the Orion star system in this gathering right now because of this. This shadow work is so important here, especially at this time in your story of Gaia. You are all smiling as this golden age truly dawns, for you know, dear ones, that it takes time for the golden age to truly dawn. And you are, even though many of you tap your feet and your fingers in anticipation of this and are impatient for it to come, you know, dear ones, that the dawn is not something that you just snap your fingers and it is in full-blown beauty. You have to watch the early light, and then that early light becomes a light stream, and the whole part of the sky starts to light up, and then suddenly clouds fire up into pinks and golden colors. And dear ones, it is like this. It takes patience that you have, so many of you, gained from the Orion conflicts, dear ones.
University of Lisle is asking, what are your thoughts on the saying, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional? Is this way even in the golden age? And how to make peace with some future pain if it is inevitable?
Dear ones, let us just say that many of you have a habit of rejecting pain, shying away from pain. Why? Because pain seems like such an unpleasant experience, and so many of you avoid pain like the plague. You just do not wish to have any painful experiences whatsoever. And those who do this and pick up this habit have forgotten a deep wisdom, which is pain exists for a reason. Why does pain exist? Well, dear ones, let us just say that if it did not hurt to put your hand on a hot frying pan, you would not pull your hand back before real damage was done. So the pain has a function. It is to alert you to an imbalance or something that is not sustainable. And so, dear ones, pain is a loving communication from the divine of something that needs your attention and needs a response, not a reaction necessarily, a response. Although sometimes, like touching a hot pipe, yes, the reaction comes quite automatically, and thankfully you do not have to think, oh wait, my hand is sizzling, what is this smell? You do not have to wait. Your body knows immediately to recoil from this burning sensation. So, dear ones, let us just be thankful and grateful for pain. This is a difficult one for many of you, especially those of you who have experienced what you might call chronic pain, or let us say excruciating, long-lasting pain. And, dear ones, know that the more you fight the pain, the more it persists or is even amplified, dear ones. This is not a struggle with the pain. You should not fight the pain. The best way to deal with pain is to acknowledge it, to witness it, to thank it, to get the lesson from it. What is this pain here for? What am I supposed to be looking at, dear ones? And to understand that there is a reason. There is always a reason. Some of you have had situations where perhaps you twisted an ankle or broke a bone, and because of this you lost your mobility for a time. And many of you especially say it is an ankle injury, and it takes long time for you to get back to be able to walk again and go up and down staircases and all of this. And during this time, so much compassion comes to you for those who have trouble walking, for those who are in pain, and so much comes to you. And perhaps this pain and time out from walking up and down stairs and all of this, a forced time out, was needed perhaps. Perhaps new wisdom came to you about your life because of this time out. Do you see, dear ones? It is not always just the pain that is the point. There is always some reason for some experience in your story, and you can only get the wisdom when you stop fighting it, dear ones. When you fight the pain, when you fight the unpleasant experience, you often throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. You are not getting the memo from this. You are not getting the deeper wisdom that was always intended from this experience. So when you say pain is inevitable, suffering is optional, there is how you can interpret this. Let us just say pain, you might even be thankful that the pain is there. The suffering is the fighting against, the railing against the pain. Let us say the lack of gratitude, the lack of understanding of wisdom coming through this experience. So this is a beautiful sharing. And yes, you can take this into the golden age. It will be less, let us say, less pronouncements of pain on the scale and level you have seen in past times. There will still be pain. There will be regrets for having said something that hurt someone's feelings, or there will be momentary pains, aches, things like this. And there will be dear ones, there will still be heartbreak. There will still be many of your experiences that you have had that you might consider to be unpleasant experiences, they will persist into the golden age. It is just that let us call in a dawning of wisdom. Let us call in a deeper understanding and awareness of the gifts in all of these so-called negative experiences. This is what you bring with you into the golden age, this awareness.
Eleanor is asking, Jadon Se, I have loved stained glass for as long as I can remember. What can you share about its magic?
Dear ones, many of you have been stained glass artists. And let us just say that there are lost technologies in the epochs of humanity. Many of you are aware that sound technologies, vibration resonance technologies like your crystal sound bowls and bells of Tartaria and cathedrals that are made acoustically perfect so that they can, let us say, accentuate sound healing energies. There is something very similar to this, to your bells and your acoustical engineering that is using light in the same way, dear ones. Your stained glass windows and art that transmits light, translucent art, you might say, is a special type of artistic, creative, and technological understanding, so that you can bring in the vibrations that will bring about a certain sort of understanding. Dear ones, your science understands light therapy with the psychology of light. When you are in a red room, it has a certain effect on your beingness. When you are in a blue room with blue glowing light, it has another effect. You dimly understand the Chohan rays, the emerald ray, the rose ray, your violet flame of Saint Germain, all of this. Dear ones, these are understandings of the energies of light. Many of you work with crystals, with amethysts and rose quartz and beautiful gems, rubies, and you understand that the quality of light that comes through these beautiful minerals and gems has a certain effect upon you. In the same way, dear ones, artwork can be created in stained glass windows with the very same sort of understanding, that the colors that come through, the transmission of light, yes, especially sun and moonlight, also candlelight, torchlight, even firelight, dear ones, each carries a different blessing with it. And as you start to understand light codes and how light codes work, you will then receive a very deep appreciation for stained glass windows. There is no, let us say, coincidence that so many of the most beautiful stained glass windows on your planet are in grand sacred spaces, cathedrals, and yes, even certain castle walls and things like this. Dear ones, each of these spaces that has this light streaming in, many of you have stood in places like cathedrals and, dear ones, Notre Dame in your on your Ile-de-Cité in Paris. Dear ones, it is, or even the Sainte-Chapelle Cathedral nearby your Notre Dame, also on Ile-de-Cité. If you stand in this Sainte-Chapelle and look upon the light streaming in through these beautiful stained glass edifices, you will feel, because you are sensitive ones, you will feel what is shifting within you as you stand in these spaces with the sunlight streaming in through them, or better yet, moonlight or candlelight. Dear ones, just know that you can work great magic with stained glass, and it is some of it known and understood mentally, and some of it intuitively created by the artist, bringing in divine energies of healing and understanding. Thank you for this beautiful question, dear ones. Hopefully there are some of you who have new appreciation of such things.
Melly Luna is asking, I have been working on releasing limiting beliefs about my back injury. It causes me pain, etc. Is difficult for me to reframe. Do you have any suggestions on how to flip the narrative?
Dear one, let us just say that releasing limiting beliefs is one thing. Beliefs about injury, yes. Certain understandings of how nerves alert us to issues and problems, back pain, so to speak. Let us just say that if you understand a deep wisdom of feeling into whatever is happening. It is, let us say, not very natural for people to feel into back pain. It is almost the last thing they wish to do. They wish to feel out of it, not feel into it. Can this back pain just go away? Dear ones, feel into it. What is my body doing? Why is this happening? What is it that I have come to learn from this? Be open to this. Is there a gift in this for me? This is a very difficult question to ask when there is chronic pain or something that is oftentimes, let us say, limiting your mobility or limiting your ability to do things or enjoy your day or something like this. It is oftentimes the last thing you wish to do is to feel into the pain itself. Feel into it. Body of mine, why am I experiencing this? What is it that I am to learn from this? I do not expect an answer in English or out loud or something, or a loudspeaker to come on with the answer. I know that the answer will come when I am ready, when I am in the right frame of mind, when I am in the right space to get the answer. So I am just putting it to you right now that I am open and willing to have the lesson from this, the deeper understanding, the deeper wisdom from this. And let us then also understand that there is an extra layer of this, especially when it comes to some sort of nerve damage. There is an extra layer. You have been told by so many, especially the ones with white lab coats and the little stethoscope hanging on their shoulder. They do not use these stethoscopes. It is a symbol of office, dear ones. Some of them use them just for show, but this is like the caduceus. It is a symbol. See my symbol of authority. Well, we will not go down that rabbit hole. Let us just say that many of you have been listening to these authority figures pronounce that once a certain type of nerve has been severed or damaged, it can never be repaired. You are doomed to have this problem for the rest of your life here, your lifespan. And dear ones, so many of you take this in to the point where it becomes a deep belief. And even though it is the worst news that you could possibly hear in a situation like this, you cling to it. It becomes this sort of medallion of your painful service on this planet, and it becomes even a shrine within your beingness that's this shrine of pain. And dear ones, we are not accusing anyone of worshiping pain. We are just saying that it is so often that these beliefs are taken so deeply within, and they are so hard to dislodge once they are so deep within you. It is like being shot by a bullet that has penetrated deep into your bone or something. It takes quite a bit to dig this bullet out of there. It is very much like this. This belief has become deeply lodged within your being, and so therefore it is not something you can just say, oh, I no longer wish to have this belief. It can so often take let us say a deep sort of work to get at this belief, to dislodge it. So dear ones, start by asking for the lessons, asking for the gifts in the pain. Start by questioning, is it true that I will have this damage to my nerves for the rest of my life? Or is it possible that there is some technology that exists, or some healing modality that exists, or some deep wisdom that exists that can liberate me in time from this chronic pain. Some of you are hearing whispers of something called med beds. These are, dear ones, real and can and do repair nerve damage, including severed spinal columns. This is only just the tip of the iceberg, dear ones. These, let us say, frequency-based, resonance-based technologies of healing, med beds, these are just the crudest, most rudimentary forms of healing available that have been suppressed for, yes, hundreds of years from you. And there are those who have been using them behind the scenes and not sharing them. And it is not very nice that this has been going on. Dear ones, med beds are just the tip of the iceberg. You have the ability to heal yourself. And as you remember this, as your core belief begins to take that in as deeply as this core belief that spinal columns cannot be healed, then and only then, when your core belief is that you have the ability to heal your body, that your body is so wise, more wise than any med bed, that your body can heal from anything. It is very true, dear ones, for those who can accept that as truth. This is the difficulty of this. So flipping the narrative starts with giving gratitude for the pain, trying to find the reasons for the pain, the memo, the message, the wisdom, the gift within this unpleasant experience, and then reframing this into gratitude. Thank you for this. Now I have gotten the memo. I have gotten this gift. I see that I have become this new being because of this pain, and that my compassion levels are so much higher, or my whatever it is, something that I have come to understand is now understood through this experience. This is step one. Step two is letting go of these beliefs that you are doomed to the pain for the rest of your life here. Step three is to start to embed these new beliefs that, yes, I can be healed, whether it be through med beds or my own body innate wisdom, some other energetic modalities. Begin to open up to the possibility that you can be healed. These are the steps, dear ones.
Adrian 888 is asking, I have difficulties with old densities rigidified in the physical body structure and seemingly taking lots of time to work through and release. Can you talk on this more physical aspect of karmic imprint?
Dear ones, there are two levels at work here. One is what you might call karma, which is, let us just reframe karma. Let us look at it from a standpoint of charting something in. So if you think of your higher, greater beingness, your higher self, so to speak, charting in an experience. Why would we chart in an unpleasant experience? We have just touched on that a moment ago. So let us then look at other darknesses or fears or doubts or anxieties or something like this. So there is one level where perhaps these are here for you to reach a deeper understanding of something, to accept rather than reject them, to go with the flow of what this is, delve into it, look into it, even if it seems like staring into the abyss for a moment. Let us just say, why are these experiences my habit these days? What is it that I am gaining from this habit? What is it that I am not seeing because I am staring at this habit? What is it I am missing because I am distracted by this? All of these sorts of questions. And then think of this as could my higher self have charted in an experience to deepen my wisdom, to deepen my understanding, to deepen my appreciation for beingness on some level. And so therefore, that is what you can reframe your karma into being, that it is a loving gift of some kind, an opportunity to grow and understand from some experience or understanding. And then there is also, have I habituated this? Have I internalized it by railing against it, fighting against it, or being in fear of it, or sticking my head in the sand, hoping it will go away? Am I perpetuating this into a habit? And as you feel into this, what are my daily actions that strengthen this habit? What are the daily actions I could take to weaken this habit? There are some of you who struggle with anxiety and self-love issues and body shaming and all of this. Look in the mirror. Just start by observing the thoughts that come up. As you stare at yourself in the mirror, what thoughts are coming up? Is it a negative thought? Oh, look at this blemish on my skin, or look at this wrinkle, or look at this. Is there a negative? Is your habit to go immediately to something negative? Let us look at this and feel this and take stock. Are my habits negative habits? And is there something I could be saying to the mirror, to the appearance in this mirror, that is very positive? You have very beautiful hair. You have amazing eyes. You are so amazing in so many different ways. Can you see this, dear ones, that your habits of self-talk in the mirror will betray whether or not you are increasing or decreasing this habit? Am I giving fuel to the fire, or am I dousing it with nice cool water and putting that fire out? Let us just gain that awareness first. And once you have understood that yes, you are actually feeding the fire or fueling the fire rather than putting it out, then you will realize that you have the power to feed this habit into more of a habit, or to starve it of what it would need to be in order to be a negative habit, by giving positivity. Think of it as like a house plant. Am I watering it appropriately? Am I caring for it appropriately, or am I neglecting it in some way? It is like this, dear ones. Your self-talk can become habits, and because of this, dear ones, these seeming densities get rigid within you. You feel like you have this darkness embedded in you. So, is it coming from my higher, greater self for a deeper understanding? And am I feeding these fears? Am I making it worse with my habits, my self-talk, all of this? And what can I do? It's very simple, dear ones. Consciously insert positive self-talk. Consciously praise yourself in some way, or praise the situation. Bring positivity rather than negativity to the party, dear ones.
Carmed is asking, I heard that dragons spend most of their time sleeping in the astral. Is it a coincidence that felines also, and they too are a strong warrior race?
Dear one, we will not chide you and say you did not hear earlier when we said that dragons do not sleep the same way you think of as humans, and so we will not bemoan this too much that you missed that somehow. Let us just say that there are, from where you stand, there are beautiful and quaint ways of speaking of dragons, and so many of you have this thought in mind or story of a dragon sleeping on a pile of treasure, sometimes sleeping for years or ages even, and not being awakened until someone comes to try to steal their treasure or something like this. And there are little slivers of truth to this, for dragons do guard hoards, they guard stories, they guard beautiful understandings. the records of eternity, you might say. Dragons are known as guardians because of this, because they fiercely guard the records of eternity. We will not let stories be polluted by deception and lies and deceit, and we make sure that the true stories are guarded and kept. And you might think of this as like computer system having a backup or something. Dragons will definitely guard the truth of stories for eternity and for the records of the eternal. And so many of you will look at this and think, oh, there is this dragon sleeping on this pile of treasure, sleeping for hundreds of years sometimes. And so this is not the same as human sleep, dear ones. Human sleep periods are different from this. Your human sleep periods are multi-dimensional gateways that you travel through to escape from the burden of dimensional density. Full stop. Your dream realms are escapes from density. And so much healing and beautiful understandings can come from these multidimensional dream realms. And even if you do not remember your dreams upon waking, you are dreaming, dear ones. You are escaping the density for, well, let us not use the word escape. Let us say you are taking a respite from the density. You are taking a breather, so to speak. So, dragons do not do this. In our sleep, we are not, let us say, trying to get a break from density. We are, let us say, expanding our multidimensional awareness into realms unseen. And because of this, you are doing this as well in your dream states. It is just a little different for the dragons. And so, yes, dear ones, cats are doing the same thing. And cats, dear ones, you may not be aware of this. They have a special gift. When they are sleeping in a spot, it is like a great beacon of energy that is going out to bless that spot. If you notice that a cat has a favorite spot to sleep, beyond just because it is a warm place in the sun or near a heater or something, you will notice that there are certain places that cats like to sleep. They are doing this to create, let us say, a blessing for that place. They may be sealing a portal that needs to be guarded against. They may be balancing a vortex of energy of some kind. There is so much going on with cats that you are unaware of. Their mere presence, and when they purr, it is not just what you think it is. It is, purring is a grand form of exuding energy into the environment. It is, let us say, like a giving the environment a tune-up, you might say, including any being sitting in that environment. Apples and oranges, dear ones. The only thing in common there is the rest of sleep.
Alba Chart 7879 is asking, are there dragon energies in trees?
Of course there are, dear ones, and many of you are very well aware of the fact that trees often grow in strange ways. They might make a right angle turn, they might grow in a spiral, and some of you understand that this is a very easy way to find the energies of the land, the way the trees grow. Many of you have been in a place where you suddenly realize all the trees are growing in strange ways in this spot. They're growing in spirals, or they're twisting around each other, or they're growing at right angles, or what is going on here? And dear ones, so often you can read the energies of the land through the way these trees grow. In the same way, dear ones, you can read dragon energies in an area through the trees, not only the way they grow, but the way their bark appears, the way their tree branches twist and turn, and some of them look like they have eyes, and some of those eyes are very dragon-like, or sometimes even whale-like. And yes, dear ones, that was a clue. There are whale dragons as well. Dragons and whales are very closely related in many ways. Dear ones, it is, let us just say, that you can find dragon energies in any living form, and especially in trees.
Eleanor is sharing and asking, I see rainbows inside my crystal and they make my heart sing. Are they fragments of Gaia's rainbow heart?
Dear ones, many of you gaze into crystals and see these rainbow energies, and many of you are unaware that when you gaze into clouds in the sky and see crystal energies, you see these rainbow energies. Many of you are unaware that those are ice crystals that are creating these rainbow energies in the clouds. Clouds are so high up that it is so cold that they are just simply crystals suspended in the air, like sort of like snowflakes are crystal energies. Dear ones, crystals are multidimensional portals. And whenever you have a stone or a substance that is clear, like your water, like your quartz, like a diamond, when you have a clear substrate, let us call it, let us say that you are looking through veils and veils of dimensionality. It is a portal of dimensions. And this is what your so-called refraction is. When you have like a prism and it makes a rainbow pattern, or you have crystals hanging in your window and the sunlight hits it and makes rainbows, refraction. Let us just say that the light is passing through the portal of that substrate and is, you might call it stratifying or something like this. It is simply being reflected through the dimensional membranes that are present there in that portal. And when you look into a crystal and you see these rainbow energies, the light that is reaching your eyes has moved through dimensions. Yes, dear ones, you might call them membranes or surfaces of overlapping dimensions. And because of this, they seem to be split into the rainbow colors. Light is not actually splitting. It is simply arriving at your eyes from different dimensions in different ways. And because of this, you are seeing a multi-dimensional sight. Those of you who are very sensitive can look into rainbow energies and very quickly feel the dimensional presence, that it is an interdimensional gateway that you are gazing upon. And because you are gazing through a portal of interdimensional energies, you can also gaze into other dimensions, you might say. This is what is meant by looking into a crystal ball or scrying, or let us say these sorts of looking and seeing, the ability of seeing as a seer does. You are more aware than your average bear, so to speak, of the interdimensionality of rainbow energies. Therefore, you are not just seeing what some hard-headed scientist would say, oh, look, it's light refracted through a prism. It is not like this, dear ones. It is, oh, look, I am gazing into other dimensions. And when you have that depth of feeling and your heart is online because of this, this is a clue that that scientist that speaks like this, he is in his mind. His heart is dormant when he is speaking of this. And you, dear ones, your heart is on, so to speak, when you gaze into these rainbow energies. And this is your first clue as to the interdimensional nature of what you are experiencing. When you see an orb in the sky, or you see a sunset, or you see rainbow energies in the clouds or a crystal, and your heart begins to sing. This is the first clue that your interdimensional awareness is online. And you can follow this much deeper, dear ones. Follow this feeling of your heart that is unlocked by these rainbow energies, so to speak, and feel deeper into it, and you will get visions, dear ones. You will start to see other realities, other worlds, other realms. This is what is meant by clairvoyance. And dear ones, it is scrying, looking into a crystal ball. This is what is done by an advanced being doing this. Congratulations, you are well on your way to having this ability.
Aaron Darvish is asking, Jadon Say, what were the dragon energies doing during the Orion Wars?
Dear ones, let us just say that dragons will come to any realm to uplift, and oftentimes, in order to do this, they need to descend into very pronounced darkness energy regions. You might say, a dragon will descend into the very depths of hell in order to help someone to uplift them from hell. And when a dragon, let us say, enters into these regions, they play the role of the story of that place. And so you will see dragons in very dark places looking scary or frightening, so-called naughty dragons. They are, let us say, these are the ones that are fearsome and fearful and fear-inspiring, and it is because they are playing the role of that realm, and they will still be uplifting. You will see little subtle cues that even the most naughty dragon is actually helping in some way or bringing some wisdom to that being that is operating with that dragon, some deeper understanding that helps to uplift them. And so, yes, dear ones, dragons are, let us say, present in any areas of darkness, and there were pronounced regions of deep darkness in your Orion Wars, so to speak. And because of these experiences and stories of terror, fear, darkness, yes, the shattering of worlds, dear ones, beautiful places, beautiful oceanic worlds that were beautiful beyond compare, being destroyed in moments by dark energies, being shattered and scattered into chaos and oblivion. Dear ones, far worse and more terrifying things than the fall of your Atlantis have happened in your Orion star system. And the dragons were there. The dragons were there, sometimes looking like they were the ones bringing about the darkness, when indeed they were just there to assist and uplift. So, and there were, yes, wise and beautiful golden and silver dragons and benevolent dragons helping to advise and work with the Orion Council of Light to bring more light, to bring greater peace and harmony. Yes, dear ones, the dragons were very, very involved with the Orion Council of Light, what you would call the Jedi Council in your Star Wars. This is what that was based upon, a very real council of loving beings. And so many of the Orion star seeds are from the Orion Council of Light, dear ones, and work with dragons. You will notice that Orions love to work with dragons. Yes, dear ones. Thank you for this. We have passed our 1222, and so therefore we will start to call this to a close. We will let your loving Stephanie call out one or two more questions. And
I don't see questions, just Home Drawn is sharing as he left. I must go now. Shout out from Utah. Thank you and love you all. A massive healing to those who need it in the entire tribe.
beautiful, dear ones. Let us do our shout-outs then.
Yes, and Daisy Tam sharing also. Grateful to be gathered with you all during the spring-autumn equinox. Appreciate your presence and those who will be on the replay. Sending a coherence among the ley lines, playing together in joy.
Beautiful, dear ones. And for those of you who have not heard this message from the dragon, from your equinox yesterday, it is an important one for each of you to understand that you can stand down now. The burdens that you have carried for so many connected lifetimes can be laid down. Your service is complete. This is a time for you, dear ones, to build your dreams, enjoy yourselves, take, let us say, the eternal payment that is due you for all of the service that you have been completing, and just build your dreams, dear ones. Let us do shout-outs now. It is Stephanie's time to do the shout-outs.
You can do them with me as well. We have Ankara, Turkey, and South Africa. Thailand had joined us. Surprise, Arizona. Fargo, Portugal. And I know my mother was here. She is not doing well from North Bend, Oregon. So any blessings and love sent to Carolyn Kennedy is much appreciated.
Beautiful.
Love you, Mom.
We have brought up this map so that we can see and feel the presence of so many who join us regularly.
Tyrol, Austria.
We have British Columbia, Canada in the house. Worcester, Massachusetts. I believe he likes to pronounce this Worcester.
In the Great Springs of Washington.
Norway is in the house.
Gross, Texas.
Another from Norway, dear ones.
Woodstock, Georgia.
We have Wisconsin in the house.
And London, England.
And Holland, beautiful gardening culture of Holland in the house.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining.
Vancouver Island, Canada. Say hello to the orcas for us. Beautiful, dear ones. Thank you all for joining. We are so very lucky to have each of you here bringing your wise questions and understandings, sharings, and all of this. Dear ones, your questions enrich this experience so much, and we thank you for this. And have you noticed that the questions have been getting deeper and deeper, betraying those who are very wise, who are gathered here? Again, you can gather as well on your Telegram chat. We will post this in the chat if we can before we end this live stream. So thank you very much for joining us here, and we wish you a very happy equinox, and let the days change in a beneficial way for you, dear ones.